Hey, this is Mike, and you're watching the Reelblack podcast. And today we have a very special guest. If you've been following us the last few months, you know about Riverbend.
Do you have a gun?
No.
Don't lie to me. Where's the gun?
Don't you talk to me like that. I don't care who you people are.
Listen here, I don't have time to play. Where's the gun?
Ma'am?
It's a movie from 1989 that Reelblack is very proud to be a part of the restoration of. And it's going to premiere on Saturday, January 27th at the Denton Black Film Festival in Denton, Texas. And with us today, we've got Mr. Sam Firstenberg, who is the director of said piece. Welcome to the Reelblack podcast, Sam.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting me. I'm following. I love your podcast. I'm following and your YouTube channel, and you guys are doing fantastic job. And of course, you did fantastic job with Riverbend that you will talk about. And thank you for that very much as well.
Well, for those, I mean, if you don't know Riverbend, then you've obviously been sitting under a rock someplace, because it's one of the most viewed movies on the channel. In its VHS state, which came out 35 years ago or 34 years ago, 1990. The VHS came out. The movie was released in 1989. What can you tell people who don't know yet about Riverbend, what Riverbend's about, Sam?
Okay, Riverbend is a movie that was independently produced, totally independently produced, not through a company, not through a studio. And it was written and produced by Sam Vance, which is one of the producers. And Sam Vance was a veteran of Vietnam, a black soldier, a black writer. And he wrote this black subject movie about discrimination in the South in the 60s. So the movie is talking about historically during the height of the civil rights movement. But the story is kind of fantasy. And I don't want to give the storyline right now. But because the movie was independently small budget, relatively in the distribution, in the world of distribution, it got lost. As Michael said, there is this, the only form of distribution was this VHS cassette. And I might add, in a very low visual quality, very low. But maybe there were not enough cassettes produced. We don't know. And the movie, through those years, got lost until Michael Dennis and Reelblack was interested in this subject. And in the stars of the movie I did not mention were Steve James and Margaret Avery. And we trying to revive it, and Mike, if he wants, he will still tell you the adventures of what happened in this.
Well, we got to talking. Sam introduced himself online to me, and we got to talking about the movie, and I was really interested. I'm always interested in how movies get made and the behind the scenes and all that stuff. And as we were having our conversations, a copy, a film print, a 35 millimeter film print of the movie turned up on eBay. So right away, I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I said, this may be the only copy that's available, the film. Let me get a hold of it. And fast forward a couple of years, we got into a position where we had the film not only transferred, but restored. And if you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing clips of the restoration and the restoration process, which is done by a gentleman named Craig Rogers. So and you've seen the difference, Sam, right?
It's unbelievable what happened to the movie. I must say the VHS was on a very low quality. The print that Mike found and bought had a lot of scratches and dirt. It was probably used and screened a lot. He found it in South Africa, from all places. It was full of scratches, and Mike found Craig, who is expert in removing dirt and scratches after the transfer. So it was first transfer to high quality, high definition, and then it went through the process of removing the scratches and the dirt, and today it looks fantastic.
Hey, boy, I want to talk to you. Answer me! This is my answer.
We're going to unveil the restoration to the public on Saturday, January 27th at the Denton Black Film Festival in Denton, Texas. And if you can't be there, you know, we'll be in other places throughout the country. Actually, I should make this announcement. Sunday, February 18th, which is a day before Steve James's birthday, I've arranged a screening for the 35 millimeter print to occur at Philomoka in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, Sam, I hope you'll be able to join us via Skype.
Okay, we'll talk about it by all means.
But that's breaking news. But
yes, wow, terrific, wonderful.
You know, and this all comes with a whole sort of thing, just because I think the movie's really special. We wanted to also reclaim, like, I mean, there's nothing necessarily bad about this box, but honestly, Sam, we had this movie at the store I worked at. I used to buy for a video store. I never watched it when we had it at the store. It wasn't until Charles Woods turned me on to it that I discovered it. And I said, well, you know, some of the things that we could do would be to make a dope ass poster for Riverbend so that people can really see what Steve James was about, you know. So now I want to introduce you to Aaron Kai, who we've commissioned to do our official one sheet. And Aaron's out there. Where are you located, Aaron?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Mike. Hello, Sam. Live from, recorded from Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City,
Aaron,
Nevada. Yeah.
And Aaron was turned on to me by Vishon Quinones from the Fear of a Black Film Critic podcast.
Yeah. Which I also designed his logo, actually. The podcast
exactly.
Logo.
So I was like, we need some killer artwork. So we have other artwork, but this is the main key art. We've been working on this for a while. I know your hand's supposed to be very, very.
Oh man, Sam, Mike could tell you and big shout out to you, Mike, for being so patient. You know, artists will tell you like things always take longer than expected. And I'm a perfectionist, and I kept tweaking it and being in touch with Mike saying, oh, it's almost there. I'm doing the police now. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and, you know, hang in there. And then it's like, it's going to be ready tomorrow. And they're like, no, it'll be ready the day after, so forth and so on. But it was worth it. And I'm really excited for you to see it, Sam. It was.
We are so excited. And
oh, good.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, and big shout out to Vishon Quinones for recommending myself to you, Mike. And the fact that, you know, his father, rest in peace, Shabadoo, was in Breaking 2 with Sam.
Right, so we are closing here. We are closing a cycle because I directed the movie with Shabadoo, Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, and we were pretty friendly. And,
really,
and then
you know, wow,
the connection with Rashan happened later.
So really
it's interesting how things are revolving and connecting to each other.
Yeah, and I mean, as I painted this poster, you know, I was really, you know, I wanted to give it that, as you mentioned, Sam, that Canon 80s look. You know, the badass. You know, I kind of referenced Chuck Norris Invasion USA poster. You know, just the hero stance and the colors, and even though we couldn't have explosions, but you know, we you know, you saying it went fire and everything. So as I worked on it, I guess when I'm working on something like this, I'm thinking about the project itself. Like, you know, you, Mike, the producer, you, Sam, the director. Like, I want this to just blow you away. I'm thinking about the audience. I'm thinking about. That's all it's in an artist's mind. We just want to wow you, and I thank you for trusting in my vision And yeah, I'm really excited about this.
You know, Aaron and Mike, everybody knows the memory of Steve James is very close to our heart, and many fans around the world, not only us. I worked with Steve James a couple of times in the most famous American Ninja 2. Steve left our world too early, too young. He really passed away too young. He was on his way to become the next Black American hero. He wanted to be Shaft. He really wanted to be the Shaft, and we loved him. He was a gentle, wonderful man. We were very friendly, and as I said, two sets. But us and many other fans are trying to keep his memory up there with the rest of the Hollywood let's say action stars. He was more than just action, also comedy, etc. But that's how we kind of remember him. And we think, we didn't see the poster yet, but we think that the poster, one of the part of the poster is glorifying and commemorating the memory of Steve James.
So this is the painting. I hope this works. Otherwise, we'll have to pause it and do some crazy stuff. This is all live to tape. So this is Aaron Kai's interpretation of what if Steve James. How do we present it to you, Aaron? Like if Steve James was the star of a canon action movie from the 80s.
Yes. If this was, it's almost like if he were alive today, or if this was the 90s today, or the during that era, like it's just the hero. Steve James, the next action hero, black action hero or action hero, and just to, like I said, that 80s flavor, but just the power of like what you see. It goes back to movie poster art. Like when you see the poster, you're like, I got to see that movie, and that's where, when I saw the Enter the Dragon poster when I was 11 years old, I looked at that poster, I said, I want to do that. Like that was so fast forwarding to today, to when I'm painting this poster for the director of American Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, that I watched over and over again when I was at Trenton State College because it was the only VHS my friend had. And here I am painting this poster for the director of this movie, of the same movie, for Riverbend. And it's like who knew? I'm really, living the dream as far as an artist. So yes. So that's what, all that going into my head as I'm painting night after night after night, just with a paintbrush, with little paintbrushes, big but mostly little. And I think it'll speak for itself.
Okay. So drum roll.
Okay.
That's the painting.
Wow.
There it is. Riverbend.
It's amazing. Look at Steve. Look at the way he looks. And Aaron, this is a hand painting of
100% hand painted, Sam.
Fantastic.
All with paintbrush. Yeah.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. First of all, it really looks like Steve James, the way I remember him, young and strong and imposing character. He was very tall and wide and strong.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to give him a glow. I wanted to give him, just a lot of light, just the presence, and the flags in the background. I made like this, pyramid to lead up to him, in the entire composition. And you have the can you zoom out a little more, Mike?
Let me see. I'll try.
With that, yes. There you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the fantastic. It really looked good. Fantastic. And we are talking about Steve James, but let me reiterate that it's not only about Steve James. It's about the movie and the spirit of the movie and the story of the movie. As I mentioned a little bit, it's about the racial discrimination in the South in the 60s. So beside the figure of Steve James, you got this feeling of what the story, what we are going to see in the movie. The enticing you as a viewer of this poster to go and see the movie, so you understand that there are forces here which are fighting with each other, and something in this movie about the rights. Now, eventually, you will have here the little our tagline, which is "When you are right, you fight."
Right. Well, we have that too. Hang on, let me.
Now, this is just the artwork, but Mike is going to pull up the actual poster with the title, everything. Yeah.
Aaron and Mike, let me tell you some anecdotes, some memories that this poster brought to my mind.
Love to hear him.
Of course, you saw Steve James, no sleeves, an open shirt, and that leads me to the story. I directed Steve James in American Ninja #1, American Ninja #2, and the movie Avenging Force, except Riverbend. And all of those are action movies. And in every one of those movies, oh, that's beautiful. I will continue the story in a second. Okay, from the director of American Ninja, Steve James, Margaret Avery, when you're right, you fight. And boy, and that's really nice because this frame brings out the figure and he's standing out almost 3-dimension. You're looking at I'm looking at the poster and it's almost 3-dimension to me. It's amazing. And at the bottom, you get the sense that this movie about some kind of a fighting over rights, of course, and you have the hand, the fist. So you get the feeling that it has to do with the time of the civil rights movement. And it is about racial oppression or racial discrimination subject.
Yes.
I'll just finish the story. So in every movie, at some point, by his own initiative, Steve, in some kind of a middle of a fight or something, he will take off the shirt without asking me, and I'm the director, So I said, Steve, why are you always in every one of those 3 movies, at some fight you take off your shirt? And he turns to me and says, what do you think? I work so hard for this body, or you think you're not going to show it off? To show off this body. So at some point in the movie, he just takes off the shirt. In Riverbend was not calling for, but there is a scene that he cuts off the sleeves. There is a montage that he sits with the other soldier. He's a commander in the story. He's leading. Without giving the storyline, he's leading some militia, and at some point they sit around the fire, and he tears off the 2 sleeves and to show his. He has like a story reason, but he always wanted to show his muscle. This was a big.
You don't know how much that means to me, that hearing your approval and your seeing your reaction to this, because
it's amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I put some lighting in the background to give it that 80s, the outline, and maybe just brighten his skin up, just glow a little bit. And if you notice, Mike, if you want to go up by his chest, I fit his name Quentin onto his lapel, because in the photo that I went from, it said Quinto. It was like cut off. It was so.
Nice, Quentin, U.S. Army.
Handed on, and I moved the lapel, his right lapel, which is on our left. I moved that over a tad, so you'd see his whole name tag there, and but yeah, I'm
Aaron, that we have Steve's daughter, Debbie. And
yes,
I send her everything. I'm very friendly with her, and everything. She is going to be so excited about this. And she will be with us in Texas in the festival. Those details they look much better than the photo. It looks better than the photo that you used.
I'm a detailist. Let me tell you, anyone who knows me will tell you since day one, I'm just a perfectionist. It's a blessing and a curse, but I love it. I just like the devil's in the details, and
the devil is in
this motto I have: life is in the details. Actually, a friend of mine.
I love the highlights on the.
Yeah, I wanted to make his arms,
some kind of oily arms.
Well, the 80s action, the over the top, it was such a great era, and Steve Jam, I remember him To Live and Die in LA, The Exterminator, one of my favorites actually. For some reason, I have a soft spot for that movie, The Exterminator. A lot of people say it was a remake of Death Wish, but I remember he was in that. And
Yes.
yeah, and yeah, but
Once-
I just
Once he joined Canon, Canon Film produced many movies, and once he joined the Canon family with the original, with the first American Ninja, then they used him in many, of course, in Delta Force and other movies.
Of course, yeah, him and Michael Dudikoff, yeah.
This is Quentin, my cousin. Gus, Fat Man.
Gus? Fat man?
You're not from around here, are you?
No, I'm just passing through.
Well, what's happening in town?
Can we talk?
Oh, sure, he know everything. He even got a chance to see the sheriff passing by the other day.
Bill, we come by here to get your gun. We gonna put a stop to this shit before it get too late. Hell, Jackson and Hammond dead. Pauline raped. We gonna put a stop to him right now.
Well, what about if we all go to the circuit judge?
Forget that circuit judge. Your husband got killed going to that circuit judge. There's only one way to solve this problem, and that's to put a bullet in his head, and that'll stop him cold.
That's right.
Well, how are you gonna do that?
Well, we don't know yet, but we'll figure it out.
Maybe this isn't any of my business. Maybe I shouldn't ask. But if you are successful with the assassination, what happens then? What's your next move?
Well, whatever happens next is better than what's happening right now.
Well, if that's the approach you're going to take, chances are you're going to fail.
Well, you sure know a lot of fancy words, mister. How you gonna come in here and tell us about our town?
It ain't your town, that it never will be, until you take it over by force.
Now, if you really are what you say you are, then maybe you could stay here and help us protect ourselves. Or show us how to do it.
I wanted to, like the gun, like
The halo around the gun, I see.
pop up. I just wanted to give it more light, give it more color, and yeah. So
So you put the halo around it. I can see. Wonderful.
All right. Well, I'm most impressed with the flames, and I know some, and I know, we had discussion about should we burn a flag. I'll
yeah.
like it's the Confederacy lost, and I think it symbolizes what the movie's about. So I think we're within our artistic license to do that. But I'm really impressed by the how it manifested in terms of your craftsmanship.
Thank you. Yeah, the flames were a challenge, but what I do like, and I think Sam, you might mention this earlier, was that the fact that it balances like the color. Like we have red, we have blues, black, green, orange. It's like almost all the primary colors that really just give it this really, and then we got the black around the background, and it brings your eye all into the center of Steve. And that's why I even gave him a glowing around him, sort of like a light that because he is their answer in the movie. Margaret Avery says, help us protect ourselves. So he's the man, so.
I'll tell you, Aaron, number one, again, my compliments and thank you very much for doing it. And I'll tell you, I can thank you on behalf of all Steve James fans around the world. And you will see once we post it, they will start to send reaction and to comment. And it's going to be tremendous comments for this and the fans of the movie, because we are doing it for Riverbend as well. And
thank you, Sam. I mean, like I said, I mean, I thank you both for your utmost patience and for, again, trusting in my vision. And, I think we all worked well together, and I'm really excited about it too. I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy with it. Mike, Mike and I have been in touch, and I'm really excited to when it's released. And if you know any other directors, Sam, anyone, producers that need a poster like this, painted, pure, not AI, not Photoshop, no disrespect to that, but that's what I do. I paint the movies, and thank you both so much.
Mike and Aaron, listen, before we end up, we look to some stories and anecdote, And something came to my mind when suddenly because we are dealing with all this Texas, the movie Riverbend takes place in the South, in the deep South, but it was filmed in Texas, actually not far from Denton, where it's going to play. It was filmed in around Waxahachie, Texas, DeSoto, Texas. So and for me, it was quite an experience to come to Texas. I know Texas. Prior to this, I knew Texas only from the movies, from the books, from the stories, from Westerns, Texas, And finally, I was in Texas and working there. And the crew, most of the crew, we were very few people here from Hollywood. Steve, Margaret, myself, assistant director. But most, 90% of the crew was Texan. And the Texan people are very warm and welcome. And at the end of the movie, of course, we exchange stuff and things. And let me show you what the crew gave me when we finished the movie. Okay?
Okay.
This is my initiation, a Texan initiation. And it came together with this, of course.
Wow.
And they made me a Hollywood cowboy.
You're going to wear that?
Some of the crew was like this. The cinematographer, Kenny Lemkin, he was like this. He was like a cowboy with this. And so this is my initiation. So my Texan,
you're
Riverbend.
Yeah.
We're going to get you a Denton hat.
I will.
We're going to get you a Denton hat on January 27th. So I know there's going to be a lot of people that are interested in this artwork now. They've seen it all over the world. We'll have 11 by 17 mini posters done, and we'll offer them for sale shortly after the screening. Some signed, some unsigned, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in getting your own copy of the poster or signed copy of the poster, make sure that you reach out to me at reelblackinc@live.com, and I'll put that on the screen as well. So that's why we're here, to honor Steve James, honor Sam Firstenberg, honor the legacy of Steve James through his daughter Debbie James, and also you should
rescue this movie. This is historically, it's an interesting movie. It's a fantasy about a social issue that really occurs, but the movie is in the fantasy world I'm mentioning, but it deals with a social issue and Vietnam civil rights movement and what might have happened. And the movie was rescued. The movie kind of disappeared almost. There were only very few VHS cassettes around, very few.
Yeah.
And so we'll also celebrate the rescue of the movie.
Yes.
Riverbend.
It's awesome.